Ladies and gentlemen, there's no better way to get up in the morning than to get up with Garret. Garret is a third-generation success-credentialed real estate entrepreneur who's here to give you tips, tricks, and share stories of success. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Garret Bedroom.
Good morning, Dougie.
Good morning.
I feel like maybe we need a little 50 Cent with that song, or maybe it's Kanye, that got the money and I'm in need.
Gold digger.
Because I think Danny Jones got the bag, baby.
He did.
Danny Jones got paid. Ring the bell. Ring the bell, Pat. Let me hear a little ding ding. Wow.
I don't think we have that queued up.
We don't have a ding ding. All right. My God. What do you guys think? Can you believe this? Instant reactions.
Crazy.
Danny Jones at the last minute, literally.
Yep.
News breaks, Adam Schefter all over the Twitter, the Instagram, the TikTok, and, 3:55, which what that means relevant to the time was 4 o'clock is when the Giants would be able to use their franchise tag on them, which would protect them from other teams negotiating with Danny Jones, the future of the New York Giants football club. And at the last minute, the deal comes in, and what we hear was, drum roll, 4 years, $160 million. I know that sounds like an incredible, ridiculous amount of money to play sports, but in all things considered, the teams are worth $5 billion. So keep it in perspective. So Danny's going to get, on average, $40 million a year. It'll probably end up being less in the beginning. And then there's certain other incentives, et cetera. So, I'm sure some of those different numbers based on the salary cap and bonuses that they're pretty creative in the front office. So I'm just curious, instant reaction. What do you think? 4 years, $160.
I mean, I'm glad that we got him. I'm glad that we have Danny Dimes. I think he's the best quarterback for us. I do think we might have overpaid a little bit, but we have to just, take it and put it behind us and now worry about the season. Because, we want some salary cap room to get more weapons so we can, our offense is one of the issues here where we don't have a wide receiver. So, it'd be nice to have some more cap space. It is what it is. Saquon, is also in an interesting position now where he's got the franchise tag.
Yep.
So he's gotta perform, and we have him for at least another year. But I mean, with the going rate of other quarterbacks, we might have paid a little over, but I think it all evens out as time goes on.
I didn't get a chance to research it, so just if anybody's fact checking me, I apologize. But I think Danny Jones is now probably, I would say, top 10 quarterback money. I'm not saying top 10 quarterback league in terms of skill. But it's not like he got number 1, 2, 3. He didn't surpass Mahomes. Joe Burrow is going to get a huge contract.
I think his current contract, Patrick Mahomes is getting like $35 a year.
Yeah, but he signed like a $400 million, huge deal. But I when you look at the average, I don't think Danny Jones is the top paid quarterback in the league. That obviously would have been a huge deal. I mean, Joe Burrow is going to get a huge contract. Trevor Lawrence will get a huge contract.
I got the list if you want to see the list.
Sure. Well, listen, whatever you can bring up. What do you got?
I got the list.
I just don't know how they break it down because, again, some guys get bonuses, some guys get guarantees, signing bonuses, roster bonuses. There's a lot of different ways to slice the cap. But Danny Jones is getting his payday. And for those of you that thought it wasn't going to happen, not only were you way wrong, but, this is just the reality of professional sports and where we are right now. What are you looking at here?
This is the cap hit for 2023. Deshaun Watson is the highest, $54 million.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is at $49 million. Okay. Dak Prescott, that's another. I think Dak Prescott got overpaid.
How many playoff games has Dak Prescott won?
Josh Allen, 39. And do you think Josh Allen is better than Daniel Jones?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Josh Allen's sitting at 39. Daniel Jones has got 40. Ryan Tannehill's got 36.
I'd rather have Jones than Tannehill.
Total cash. So, I'm not really. This is your department. You probably know more than me about. Aaron Rodgers at $60 million total cash.
Oh, 60 mil.
Daniel Jones is at $46 million total cash.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson, $46 million total cash.
By the way, Deshaun Watson, he got I think a contract. I think it was guaranteed $182 million, some ridiculous number of guaranteed, which was just insane.
Yeah.
A lot of the football players don't get. I mean, they certainly get big guarantee numbers, but they don't get the whole thing. That's the whole idea. They could get hurt.
And thankfully for the Danny Dimes contract, a lot of it's incentive based. A lot of it,
Good.
there's a lot of incentive base, but he is total cash more than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is 40 million total cash.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is 46. So I
Yeah.
don't,
But he didn't get like a 10-year look. Danny Jones went out last year. All right, get rid of this. Danny Jones went out last year and played his tail off, right? Had the season of his life. Those last couple games, literally won a road playoff game, which is a huge deal in the NFL. Ask Tony Romo, ask Dak Prescott how many games they've won on the road in the NFL over the years. And he played to a level where he deserved to get a bag of money. Now, had we signed him earlier in the year, we actually could have picked up the 5th-year option, which I think was only $22 million. So you could say, well, the Giants could have saved all that money. But I would argue if Danny Jones had the option picked up, I don't think you would have had the same Danny Jones performance that you had this year, which would have given you the confidence that this is your long-term quarterback. So I think what he showed was with the appropriate coaching of Brian Dable and that great staff and Mike Kafka on the offense, and they're going to continue to bring in good coaches. Good coaches want to work with other good coaches, right? And I think what we saw was Danny Jones is kind of like a Josh Allen in terms of the ability to run. He's also smart like Eli. And he didn't get injured this year. I mean, he was very reliable, knock on wood, right? I mean, look at the Jets and how many different quarterbacks. There's a number of teams that have just had so many quarterbacks over the years and just a carousel. And Danny was extremely reliable, which obviously was a hallmark of Eli as well. So I'm all for it. The numbers are all stratosphere. I understand that, the average person in the country makes $50,000 or $60,000. So how could you understand someone making $40 million? I totally get that, but we have to look at things apples to apples and it's relative. And Saquon Barkley, I'm glad that we're going to have Barkley back. He's probably not thrilled because I think the franchise tag was around 10 to 11 million bucks. And the rumors were that he was asking, 13 to 16 million. I think Christian McCaffrey set the number maybe with 15 or 16. And McCaffrey is much more than a running back, in my opinion. He's catching, he's running, he's
throwing touchdowns.
He actually passes too. Does he punt? Christian, do you punt? I don't know. So, I don't think Barkley, as much as we love him and love his brand and everything he stands for, he's great in the community. He's a great Giant. He's not a $15 or $16 million Giant. I'm sorry. This is biz. But happy to have him back. And let's see what he can do next year. And, had the Giants not been able to work it out with Jones, which I thought they would tag him. He would have made $32 million, which is a big cap hit as well. And then he would have had to go prove it again, but then we would have risked huge other teams coming in with massive $300-400 million offers if he had a year like that. Here, at least, I'm a believer that the Giants have a legitimate chance to make the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. I think this because the coaching staff is really on the up and up, and they want to play playoff game on the road with a receiving core that most of my listeners couldn't mention. They re-signed Isaiah Hodgins. I'm excited about him. Galladay's out of here. And I really don't know what's going to happen with Shepard or anybody else, but the Giants are not that far away. If they can re-sign Dexter Lawrence and Leo Williams and Julian Love and some of those other great players on defense, Xavier McKinney, I think the Giants have a legit chance. To me, the NFC is a little kind of wide open right now. There's no way the Eagles can all stay together after having such a great run. Their top coaches have already left, and they won't be able to pay all their players when Jalen Hurts comes off his rookie contract. So let's go for it right now. And if we're wrong on Jones, it's only a 4-year deal. And most likely, if we're right on Jones, after year 3, we're going to give him a new deal anyway. You don't really go into like a lame duck with a guy you like. So it's really kind of, in my opinion, only a 3-year deal. And if he has 3 crappy years, okay, we'll move on. But I'm all for going forward, and I'm glad Barkley's back. I think those are 2 important pieces. And look, the other thing that's so interesting is all the Jets talk. And, I would like to see the Jets get Aaron Rodgers. I'm certainly obviously not a Jet fan, but I'm a fan of having it interesting, and I want to see, the AFC is just incredible right now with the young quarterbacks, and the Jets had such a strong defense. And you don't need to do that much if you're going to have a defense like the Jets have. They've got some young studs that are on rookie contracts. And I just think it'd be interesting for New York if the 2 teams were really going at it and both were strong and successful. Do you think Rodgers? Yeah, he's out of the cave. He went to like
The
Alaska,
darkness retreat.
I don't know where. Darkness retreat. I mean, listen, things are changing in the office these days,
Yep.
but darkness retreat is the newest, coolest thing. I don't want to work from home anymore. I want to go on a darkness retreat. And I think they're having serious conversations. What do you think, Doug?
I think they're having serious conversations. I do believe the Jets are their own worst enemy, and I just hope they didn't drop the ball because they had Derek Carr lined up ready to go, and
New Orleans, right?
Yep, that slipped through their fingers, and they had a really good season last year, but all they were missing was a decent quarterback. Mike White was winning games for them, so Derek Carr would have been fine, and you wouldn't have to give up anything for him. So I just hope we're not just getting too greedy because we see, Aaron Rodgers and in Jets fashion, with our luck, they won't get either.
What do you mean? Our luck. You're a Giants fan.
I'm a Giants fan.
Don't ever say the words "our luck" because I've been around for 4 Super Bowls for the Giants.
Yes.
Victories. I didn't go to the one that they lost, but the Giants are 4-1 in my lifetime in the Super Bowl. So when you talk about our luck, I think the Giants have some good veteran luck there. But don't tie that Giants to the Jets. So it's going to be interesting. And then Lamar Jackson got tagged with what's called non-exclusive franchise tag. So other teams can actually talk to him and make him an offer. And if another team makes him an offer, let's say it's 10 years, $400 million. All right. I'm making this up. Now, maybe the Dolphins, like who knows if Tua is going to have a brain that works. Right. Sorry not to be so sensitive, but he was a tough go this year for him. So let's say they make him an offer like that, the Ravens now would have to go back and match that offer, or he could sign with the Dolphins and then they would get 2 first-round draft picks. So I think I read a stat today that since the beginning of free agency, it's never happened where in the same exact year that they got tagged, a team, it actually worked where they took them. So it could happen. I mean, Lamar Jackson is an interesting guy. I mean, he's really young. He's got an incredible skill set. That dual threat is beautiful. It's hard to defend. I don't know how long he'll stay healthy. I mean, we've seen a lot of guys like that who have gotten beaten up for having that skill set. But he does his own negotiating. I think he's his own agent. And I just don't know if Baltimore is going to, cut the big check on him at this age. And that's a big opportunity. If the Jets got him, oh boy, forget it. I think that would be incredible for the Jets. So I'm looking forward to football season. I mean, basketball's got another 12 to 15 games left. The Warriors are hovering around a game or two above 500. They had a great 5-game homestand. They won 5 in a row, and then they go on the road. They just can't win the road. It's just nuts. So they're trying to get this 4 seed, which obviously 4 or 5. 4-5, 5-4, whatever in the playoffs, big difference because you play at home if you're the 4, you play on the road if you're the 5.
True.
I don't see them becoming the 1 or 2, but it's pretty tight there in that kind of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the West. Now you remember, obviously, I've had a background with the Warriors and have some friends there, but some of my friends from the Warriors. Do you have the picture of the ring?
Oh yes. Hold on.
Okay.
Go, tell the story.
All right. So one of my good buddies at the Warriors. Who hopefully we'll have on the show in the future. He's also involved in let's see if I get this right, Pat. Is it called the LAFC, Los Angeles Football Club?
Yeah.
And that's in what? The MLS?
MLS.
Okay. So MLS, for all those that don't know the difference between soccer and football, it's American soccer or American football, but it's the US league. We have the Red Bulls here in where the Harrison, I think now, right? So LAFC is the Los Angeles Football Club. I think it was a pretty new team, actually. I think it was an expansion team a few years ago. But last year they won the championship, which is pretty cool, right? So let's see what the ring looks like. There it is. That's the jewelry, and I think it's pretty cool because the guys in the NBA obviously make a lot more money than the guys in the MLS, right? And so I think the NBA, the NFL, they could afford whatever they want for the rings. But here, this one's it's not over the top, but it's kind of cool with like the black. Different materials there and the diamonds, and it says MLS Cup Champions LA. It's got the logo there in the middle. What do we think? We like it?
I like it. It's wearable.
Yeah.
Some of these over top ones, you can't wear them. Like, what's the point? You're just going to have it sitting in a closet?
If you were to wear that to a business dinner or whatever, it's a conversation piece, but it's also not like what Michael Strahan says is like a 10 table where you see it from 10 tables away and you're gawking at it and you're going to get carjacked for it, right?
Yeah. It's wearable.
Yeah.
I think
So
wearability is a huge factor
I
here.
think so too. So all right, cool. Get rid of that. I wanted to give a shout out. Do you have a picture of my friend Adam
Yes, I do.
Koppelman? Right. It's a
So,
cop. Adam
yeah.
Koppelman from Speed Pro Imaging Services. Hopefully, he won't be embarrassed if I show this photo. I know he posted it on LinkedIn. So if you post something,
Pulling it up.
I'm gonna take it. Right. So Adam was a guest on our show a few months ago. Has a great company called Speed Pro Imaging in Toyota. Does all my sign work for Hedges, for Salons by JC. He's been really great asset to the family and a good friend as well. And it was just his birthday. And we're going to have
Nice.
dinner this weekend and say happy birthday. But
Awesome.
he won a great award. They had a huge conference. I think it was in Vegas, but I forget.
Mhm.
And it was a big signage conference for the industry. And he won a Project of the Year award for something he did in New York called Rise New York. I think he spoke about it on one of the earlier shows. So if you go back, check the YouTube, and you can
Nice.
see the interview with Adam. So shout out to our buddy and friend of the show, Adam, for a great achievement. And thank you for always supporting the Bedrin family and our business.
Absolutely.
So
Adam's a great dude.
So that's Adam. All right, get Adam out of here. It's not his podcast. It's not his studio time. And then I wanted to, of course, talk about. You want to show some Hedges pictures?
Absolutely.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
So for those of you that have been following the show, you know the family's spent the past 2 years working on our Hedges at Hawthorne mixed-use project. It's a once-in-a-generation project, we think. 118 luxury apartments by the train with condo qualities. Just beautiful kitchens and bathrooms and incredible amenities that has not been seen in this area before. So we are expecting to be done kind of in the middle of April.
Mhm.
You know, and we expect next month that we'll start tours early April. And we got the power turned on. That was like a major accomplishment, right, Pat? Ding! And you know, get that power on. Now you can get all your inspections scheduled, and you know, it's really good. You've got to be level-headed. It's been tough where you know you don't know the power's coming, you can't control it. And I know I've talked in other episodes about control what you can control, but also you got to let go what you can't control. And it's a real balance in business, you know, reaching out to your contacts, your network, and doing everything you can to try to squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? Put your name at the top of the list. But you've got to also not overly stress and don't let your body break down on things that you can't control. So this was a great representation of that, a great story. We hung in there. We never gave up. And we finally got that power turned on. And we're hot. We're ready to go. And did I send you any pictures to show?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the proper time.
Let's
there
go.
You go.
So this is like the amenity area where the kitchen's going to go. So we've got to throw a nice countertop on there, but we're going to have a great area where you could have actually cold brew coffee. You could have a microwave and heat up your dinner and kind of sit at a countertop, kind of like Whole Foods communal eating there. And that window, Doug, opens in kind of a really cool nano door type of style. The whole thing opens and the grills are outside. So you can you know, grill foods, pass it through the kitchen.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited about that. What else you got?
We got plenty. We got so much. Here we go.
If I'm moving too quick for you, I apologize.
No, you're good. I'm just
got a busy day ahead. So here's some beautiful slat work, some mill work that's come in. This kind of gives you like a peekaboo into the living room of the amenities, but without walking through it. Hopefully, you don't. That's expensive. Don't walk through there, please. But it shows right away that we are focused on kind of using really nice natural wood elements, and there's a lot of natural light coming into the property. And so I wanted something where it was kind of this visual gate or visual fence to an area, and it kind of guides you how you're supposed to walk. So there's a lot of slat wall you'll see throughout the property. And then, oh boy, the number 5. So like I said, starting tours in 5 weeks. And this is when you get off the elevator, you know what floor you're on. Wow. What a genius idea, huh, Pat? Right? I mean, because those of us who are getting older might get lost. We might forget, what floor am I on? I just push the button. But, you know, so every floor you get off at the Hedges will tell you in big numbers. No reading glasses, Dad. This is for you. Get rid of the cheaters, and you'll know what floor you're on. And if you're visiting a friend, you'll know where to go. Nice. So we're excited about that. That's some of the signage that Adam did not make, by the way. He did all the signage in there for the wayfinding, and but this was some custom woodwork we wanted to do on our own. So we're excited about Hedges. And if you are still interested in Hedges, you can join the waiting list. It's hedges@hawthorne.com. And you go there, put your name, phone number, email, what type of apartment you're interested in. and we will get back to you. I promise we're going to get back to you. We haven't set up the actual office staff there yet, so that's why you haven't heard from us directly.
Should we give him the Get Up email too, so we know the listeners might get a little VIP treatment?
How about we do this? When you go to hedgesathawthorne.com and you type in your name and email and all that, there's a notes section. Okay. So if you write in there, heard about it on Garrett's podcast, right? Or put in Get Up with Garret, something like that, we will make sure that you get something special. Okay, maybe a protein bar from Planet Fitness.
All right, yeah.
Maybe a Gatorade. That's about the budget I'm talking. Just for full disclosure.
You don't get a free apartment?
No, definitely not. Definitely, because the waiting list is 3,000 people.
That's crazy.
I don't think I could afford to do that. So we're excited. We're blessed. We're thankful for the community that they've loved hearing about the project and are so interested in the project. And we're looking for more locations, right? North Carolina. I was there last week, commuted for the day, flew in, flew out, did a bunch of tours, and we'll see. We're always looking for new investment opportunities. So if you're interested in hearing more about kind of working with the Bedrin family and being involved in our projects, definitely shoot me an email. I think it's right down here, getupwithgarret@gmail.com. And of course, it'd be a good time to remind you to, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the show. They tell me that helps. So I will believe you. If you want to check me out on Instagram, there's the Garretgram, right? We got some great reels of Daisy and Charlie and the family and the kids. And last thing I want to talk about before we go, because I know we're busy today. I grew up being a huge wrestling fan. And on my Instagram, later you guys can check it out. Somewhere in the reels or the highlights, there is this great video of Hulk Hogan cutting the hair of the Genius and bringing it to the front row. And it was me. He gave me the hair. It was an incredible video. I don't know how we got it. I was 8 years old or 6 years old, but check that out when you have some free time. And I loved wrestling. Even in college, went to see The Rock and Stone Cold and all that stuff.
Nice.
I'm not into it now. I've kind of
that was the best era.
Grew out of it. You got to grow up, but sometimes no more Peter Pan syndrome. So anyway, I heard on the news this morning that WWE and Vince McMahon are actually talking to accounting folks like Ernst & Young and other large gambling companies to see if they could do gambling like FanDuel or Caesars, whatever you want to call it, for WWE scripted matches. This one I'm shaking my head on because Vince McMahon's always been a visionary and a pioneer, and obviously sports betting has become just an incredible business. All the leagues are getting into it, but how are they going to pull this one off, Dougie? I mean, the outcome is predetermined, and a lot of people know, right? The wrestlers, the referee, I would think the announcers, couple high executives, and what about the writers that write the storylines? So how are they going to do this?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know, because like the only thing I could think of is they put a cap on it. Like you can only bet like $5 to $10.
What's the over under on 5 body slams, Dougie?
Or maybe it's stuff like that. But still, at the same time, like there are some. So one of our clients and one of my friends I grew up with is Enzo Amore.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Yes. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on the fly. Like when they're like grappling. All right, I'm going to do this. Like there's stuff that's going on, but like the winner, you can't. Like, what's stopping the referee from telling his neighbor, being like, "Yo, The Rock's going to win tonight. Put your life savings on it. Like it's free money."
So I feel like you'd have to take the outcome, right? First of all, you couldn't do this for all the matches because there's so many wrestling events throughout the country at different times. It's just too many people. So let's say, for example, this is just for the main events. It's for WrestleMania, the big pay-per-view, right? So now you have to write down who's going to win, and that's got to go to this accounting firm, right? And in a safe, right? And no one sees this, right? It's got to be some type of third party. Well, let me just finish. So you got to do that, right?
Yes.
So now who knows? Okay, so Vince McMahon knows.
Yes.
And maybe couple writers know, right?
Yeah.
You can't then even tell the wrestlers until maybe maybe in the match they're told. I don't know. Like if I were to tell the wrestler an hour before, he could still go text people.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. Could you do over under on how long the match is going to go? 30 minutes? I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit up in the air, or how many drop kicks, or, I don't know how many times you fly off the top rope like this, Jimmy Snuka. I just don't know how they do this, dude.
Yeah. There's just so many things that can go wrong. Like the only way is if like only Vince knows, and right before the match starts, okay, you're getting it. go out there.
I got an idea.
What?
What if only Vince knows and the guys have to wear sweatbands, right? And he's got a little button like Matt Lauer had at his desk.
Like a taser?
And he can hit a button. And during the match, it beeps you. And you know that you're the winner because you felt it.
I think the beep should be the dead one. You die.
You die?
It's a bomb.
I got the beep. I got the beep. You know, because then you're going to, could you imagine the guy goes under the ring and gets a cell phone?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me get the steel chair.
Mhm.
Hey, honey, bet $1 million on me. I'm going to win. This is just crazy. So listen, send me an email. If you guys have any comments or questions about this thing with WWE, tell me how you think they're going to do it. I'm really curious because I woke up, I was on the treadmill, I heard this, and I was like, I got to talk about it on the show. Send an email to getupwithgarret@gmail.com. Let me know how they're going to pull it off because I think it's nuts. But I'm open to listening for sure.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I got for you today.
It was a nice episode.
All
Nice
right.
little update.
And I do have a few people booked for the next couple weeks, by the way.
Nice.
Next week, we have a couple young guys that are coming on, and they're going to show us a new tech company that they launched that helps residents apply for apartments and also helps apartment owners do credit checks on the residents and make sure that they're a good fit for the property and let you know if it's likely they'll pay their rent or if they'll renew their lease or if they'll leave. So trying to introduce you guys to some really cool new things that are coming up.
Need
And
that for the hedges. 3,000 people.
there you go. And
Lined
also
up.
have a friend of mine who owns a stretching company. He's going to come on and talk about health and wellness and what it's like to launch a retail business with stretching, right? Which I think is super important. I'm a customer and I loved it. That's where I came from this morning.
Nice.
You got to be flexible. You want to be on the floor with your kids and your
Absolutely.
grandkids. You
Yeah.
you don't want to be stiff. I'll leave you with that. That's my Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great day. Make sure the more you give, the more you get. We're out of here.